Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And jump over to Facebook and like my page to upload your video links, pictures, and join the conversation there. Click on the links in the description below. What is that, sir? That is an Animorph, the suckiest of all sucks that ever sucked. He said does suck bomb bad. Yep, he sure does, buddy. He sure does. Kill me. Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another retro review, and today we're going to rewind it all the way back to 1998 with the Transformers Animorphs Tobias the Hawk deluxe figure. Now, I found this figure at my local flea market, the Emporium 31, here on the south side of Indianapolis in Greenwood, Indiana. And I just happened to come across this just out of the blue, saw it out of the corner of my eye. It was in a grab bag for $2 with some cheap-looking G.I. Joe Lanyard-looking figures, and I had to get this guy. He is a little rough for wear, but he was $2, and this thing is so old, and you just don't see them out and about anymore. I want to say in box he goes for about $15 on eBay, but I just never see them in the wild, so I figured why not? Let's go ahead and pick him up and take a look at it. If you don't know what this is, there was a really terrible show in 1998 called Animorphs. It has really nothing to do with Transformers. It was based off a kids book series where these teenagers are basically fighting aliens, and they get the powers to turn into animals. The guy that was the twin brother of the guy that played Bobby in the X-Men movies, Iceman, he was one of the main characters on the show. And it lasted one season, maybe two, I think, but I'm pretty sure just one season. And they wanted to make a toy line out of it, and they went to Hasbro, and Hasbro makes transforming toys, and they just kind of put it in the Transformers line, hoping, I think, the Transformers name would sell more toys, and I don't know if they did or not. I'm kind of thinking they didn't. I remember them on the shelf as, you know, an adult, just out of high school, about 4 years out of high school, thinking, oh dear God. But now looking back, I don't know, it's kind of fun taking a look at these things. So, as you can see, it's a human, not a robot, that turns into a hawk, and he's got hawk parts all over him, which you don't really see in the show at all. Articulation on this figure, the head does move back and forth barely. There is a ball socket at the upper arm. There's a single joint at the elbow. Really nothing else there. There is a twist at the waist, but that's really for transformation. The legs kick up that far. They don't kick back far much at all. They barely kick out just a bit. There is a single joint at the knee, and then the foot does have some articulation, but again, that's mainly for transformation. And then getting this guy to stand is kind of interesting because of all the you know, backpack he's got going on there. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's about the same level of a toy that you would get from Beast Wars of the same time frame. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, this one obviously has a lot of paint damage and wear from the years, but that's okay. I paid $2 for him. He's got his little yellow jacket, which the character wore in the show. I don't think the sculpt looks anything like the character. The head looks a bit too small, but yeah, it is what it is. Very G.I. Joe-esque looking. He's also got this big wing backpack on the back of him, which, you know, for a Transformer is not much of a deal, but if you're trying to make this look as human as possible, it's a pretty big fail. The fact that they actually got them to work any way together is relatively impressive, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess, and interesting to go back and look, and has, like I said, a very G.I. Joe or Toy Biz-esque look about it. Now, taking a look at the alternate head mode on the figure, so he kind of had three modes, a full Hoc mode, a half Hoc mode, and the human mode. This is the half Hoc mode where he kind of looks like Hawkman a bit, I guess, with the human face underneath, or like he's wearing a Birdman mask. Unfortunately, this figure's missing the beak to give the full Hawk bird face, but it's kind of interesting to see this mode. I think it looks better in this mode than the regular human mode. At least it makes more sense to have all the bird kibble hanging off of it when it's kind of got this Birdman mode going on here. Looks more like some kind of superhero than a G.I. Joe with Hawk parts hanging off of it. So taking a look at the midsection of the figure, again, lots of Hawk kibble, especially back of the arms there. He's got his little jacket. Looking at it from the front doesn't look too bad. He's got the Animorphs logo on his jacket, which I don't think they actually had in the show. Yeah, I mean, it's okay, I guess. Again, very Toy Biz looking. Huge Hawk kibble on the back with the wings and the tail, the talons on the back of the arms. Again, if this was a Beast Wars figure, then it would look perfectly fine, but it turning into a human, not so much. I mean, again, for the time, it works relatively decent, I suppose. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure, yeah, we got the tail kind of hanging down, a little bit of damage on the back of this tail, but it is what it is. The biggest issue I've got is you kind of have to lean the whole figure forward. He doesn't stabilize all that great, but it's probably because it's a lot looser now that it's like 22 years old. The fact that it does stand still today is pretty impressive. It's got the old school Toy Biz type of metal pins on the joints that hadn't changed yet, so that's probably why the joints are still nice and tight. Definitely just an interesting look back at the engineering. For comparison, here we have the Animorphs Tobias the Hawk next to Skybite from Cyberverse, and they're about the same size. I mean, the Animorph figures were about on scale with the Beast Wars figures at the time, and I mean, to be honest, they were kind of a mix between like an X-Men figure you'd get from Toy Biz of that era mixed in with a Beast Wars Transformer, which back then a lot of people made fun of and didn't like. It just didn't really catch. But looking back at it now from a collector's point of view, I mean, it's pretty impressive, really. Now, Tobias the Hawk here is a transformer of sorts, I guess. He does, of course, transform into a hawk, but he also has a third mode that's kind of a Hawkman. It's kind of halfway in between because, well, you know, they morph from a human to an animal, and there was that halfway mode, I guess. And that kind of goes along the line with the Beast Wars figures where they had kind of a third mode. Some of them had the monster faces. Some of them had the alternate vehicle mode. And they kept that in line with the Animorphs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the two alternate versions. So to transform him, what you're going to do is you're going to pull the backpack back a little. Pull this piece out. And then you're going to flip around the hawk head right there. Put that back. Then you're going to pull the wings out just a little bit so that you can flip them up. Whoop, too far. Flip them upwards like this. This side as well. Come on. There we go. And then you can pull the wings straight out. Unfurl the feathers on the wings, which actually look pretty cool. And then there he is in his Hawkman mode, looking all kinds of cool. Definitely dig that. I think he looks better in this mode than he does his human mode. I love the paint on the wings. Very cool. Very hawk-like. Lots of great detail on the beast parts. I will say, I will give it that for sure. And he does stand in this mode. You just got to balance him just right. So yeah, that looks cool as hell, actually. I think this is probably going to be the mode that he gets displayed on my shelf. Looks way better than the human form. He kind of has a superhero Thanagarian kind of look going on, which is very cool. Now, to go into full Hoc mode, what you're going to do, you would normally lift a beak up right here, but unfortunately the beak piece has long since gone, which is a bit sad. You're going to twist the waist like this, fold his toes back like this, and then fold his knees up into his chest. The arms are going to fold, I guess the shoulders are going to fold downward to hold his legs in like this, so you're kind of balling up, spin the arms around. And then the feet are on a double hinge that you're going to put the hands into. And then you're just going to kind of cradle the bird legs down like this. Make sure his feathers are all out tucked. And there we go. There we have him in his Hoc mode. Again, I'm missing the head, the beak, so it doesn't look very hawkish, but you kind of get the idea. Not too terribly bad. The body actually folds up a lot better than I would anticipate. The hands, though, I don't like how the hands are just kind of there. Again, if this was a Beast Wars robot, that wouldn't be much of an issue. I will rarely complain about a robot with his hand sticking out in the mode. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Does it work 100%? Not really, but it's better than what it should. And it would look a whole hell of a lot better if I still had the beak piece. So is the Transformers Animorphs Tobias the Hawk something that you want your Transformers collection? No, absolutely not. It is not. Unless you like the old 90s type of stuff. If you are a fan of the Animorphs, you're probably going to like this. If you like to collect all the weird, rare, and goofy things out of the Transformers line, this might be something that tickles your fancy. For me personally, it has here as of late. And finding this for like $2 made me really want to go back and explore some of these other figures just to take a look at them. I think they're interesting. They were a very weird time for Transformers, but you know, a very innovative time. And you know, like I said many times in the video, it's like a mix between a Toy Biz figure and a Beast Wars figure, which is not a bad thing. Did this show go well? No, it bombed really bad. This toy line bombed pretty bad. But they are out there. They're relatively cheap for most of them. Some of them can get kind of expensive. Yeah, they're definitely interesting, and I will probably pick a couple more up over time just to review for retro. But yeah, for better or for worse, there he is, Tobias the Hawk from Transformers Animorphs, circa 1998. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And jump over to Facebook and like my page to upload your video links, pictures, and join the conversation there. Click on the links in the description below.